What's going on, car guys and car gals? This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy, and I am here with an incredible friend and co-host today with me, the one, the only, Brad Pascal. What's going on, Brad? Welcome to the party.
Lou? How are you today?
Man, I'm excited and I'm pumped up to be brewing solutions with a couple of incredible car guys, and we have a great guest today that so many people in the industry, especially our circle of friends, knows about, but there may be a few that are not knowing who it is that this incredible guest is. So you know what we got to do? We got to get car guys and car gals to tag a car guy and tag a car gal and share this around. How important is it that they share this around today, Brad?
Man, super important. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's happening in automotive, a lot of events that are coming up. And I think it's super important to be aware of people like our guest that we have coming on, that does some magnificent things out there. So,
man, I'm excited about him doing some magnificent things. Yeah. I'm excited about getting him in here. So we're not going to take too much more time, not a whole lot of ado, but do what it is that you need to do, car guys, car gals, fixed ops, sales, whoever it is, and tag a car guy. Let somebody know that the one, the only Eric Hall is up inside of the cafe brewing solutions on this Fixed Ops Friday. Let's brew. Welcome to the party. Woo, yeah, I'm excited. Excited.
Hey, Luke, before we get started, though, you see I'm rocking a Sodu hat, right, which Eric's going to be out. But what I want to show you is what a real Texan looks like, because Eric's not a real Texan. He's actually from Idaho. So I brought an extra hat today just to prove a point that there's only one real Texan on the screen right now. So
yeah, but see the difference between the rest of us, Brad's got a 1 gallon hat. The rest of us are 10 gallons. So.
You say that, and I knew you were going to say something like that, Eric. So if you only had a hat this big, then
keep that hat on. Let me see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't he remind you? Didn't he remind you of Spaceballs?
That's the one that'll fit Fred.
Yeah.
Looks like he just came off of Spaceballs.
Yeah, Spaceballs.
Serious, yeah, the helmet. Yeah.
The helmet.
That's awesome.
Just came off of the studio at Spaceballs.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say something about that, so I had the other hat ready. And Fred can almost tuck his whole ponytail in that thing.
Yeah, he probably could. My goodness. Well, Eric Hall, we are excited that you are with us today. And yes, we are one solutionary short. And Fred is out popping a bunch of pizza pies with our boy Doug Thurston. Excited about that. They're celebrating their 75 hard. And I guess when you complete a full year cycle of 75 hard, you can binge pizza. So for everybody that's looking to do something like that, jump on that 75 hard and go on a pizza tour up in Connecticut, and then roll down to New York where the best pizza is.
In Texas, we do barbecue. It's a barbecue tour. Then
see, that's the nice thing about 75 hard here, right? It's all protein. So stick with your barbecue, stick with your brisket, you're good to go.
Everybody's like, this is so hard. And we're like, it's not that hard. it's not that hard.
Heck but yeah, I can't blame him. I'd be up there with Doug
I'm with
doing pizza too. So
heck yeah. I would be. I wish I had the chance to be out there doing that. I'll get up there and run on that tour with them soon enough. But for today on this Fixed Ops Friday, we're excited that you're with us, Eric. Thank you so much for honoring us and for just helping the industry get better by brewing solutions on Fixed Ops Friday. And we always want to make sure that we are bringing good content. We're bringing the best guests. We're bringing people that really have solutions and an actual track record of making things happen with the best in the business. And that's definitely why Brad brought you up as a guest on it. Owen is definitely supporting that. Shout out to Owen. Wish that you were with us today too, but it's okay because Three's company and we're still going to make some powerful stuff happen inside of the cafe. But Brad, why was it so important to you that we did get Eric on the show?
So Eric is Eric's instrumental. You see guys like Eric, right? And I'd like to think I was like this when I was in the store, but for sure I know Eric's like this. Is you bring him some idea and he really flushes it out and does his homework, and he's never going to turn down something that he thinks could have potential. Along with when we took fixed stops to Eric, he asked a lot of questions. He had his team implement it. He gets it done, and he doesn't string you along and he makes the decision rather quickly. But it's also super educated. So what that does is regardless of what solution that you have, if you have someone like Eric who's gonna get the buy-in from his team, implement it quickly, get you deliverables back fast, of course it's going to be successful, right? So I think that's super important of that mindset that Eric has, is like he's very on top of what's going out there, and he knows that even though you have a big store like Classic in Dallas, right, that might not have to be the most innovative, they still are, right? So there's no excuse, right, for a lot of stores, because they don't have to be the most innovative because they have a lot of customer relationships, but they continue to push the envelope on innovation and things like that. And I think that mindset's super valuable. And then Eric's also recently, along with our pal Nick Varney, recently graduated from the NADA Academy. So
yeah.
Another reason why that we wanted to talk a little bit about that, because guess what? NADA is in our home state, right? It's in Texas this year. So that's another reason why I wanted to bring Eric on, is to add some hospitality going into NADA in the next 3 or 4 months. And you guys coming out to Texas, we might even drop some good barbecue places to eat while you're out here.
Oh yeah.
And so we're gonna give you a little guide to Texas out here. So
that's what I'm talking about. Well, I'm excited to see Eric out here too, just because I know that anybody that has anything to say about Eric is always positive. It's always that he is seeking solutions. So everything that you say, I would completely echo, and I'm honored to have you on the show today. And man, I gotta say, I was like teetering whether we use the picture of him just no hat at all, or we get a cowboy hat picture. I'm so glad that you brought out the cowboy hat for him, Brad. Way to keep it classic, way to keep it moving. I want to say hello to a couple. We got some Facebook guests inside of here. Facebook user number 1, let's go. Go ahead and drop your name so we know who you are. Christopher Becker, what's going on, brother? He's tagging the car guy. He's tagging the car gal. Hopefully Perry and Ashley make it up in here. And the other Facebook user might be the same as the first, saying yeehaw because he's loving that cowboy hat. Heck yeah, excited about that. So keep getting some of your friends and some of your colleagues up inside of this cafe. But Brad, I know you got stacked up a few fun, maybe zingers, maybe fun questions for our boy Eric, but I'm excited to hear some of this.
Yeah, Eric, let's start off with the most pressing thing, right? So in a couple weeks, myself, Lou, you will all be headed out to Philadelphia, right? Yeah. So we're going out to a SodaCon. Tell us a little bit about, I know both of you guys are speaking. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are going to talk on, because I think that's real important. It might not be fix ops related, but it's some big news, right?
Yeah, certainly. Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me out. Great introduction by both of you guys, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity. The innovation really starts at the top, and with our owner Tom Durant pushing us to be the best at everything that we do, and that's kind of the way that we do business, right? So we're always looking. We've been at the top. Now we're climbing back up to get back to the top. So we're always trying to find that spot. There's nothing than a bigger target on your back to motivate you, right? And when you've been there and everybody's chasing you, it just drives you a little bit more. So, from our owner, Tom Durant, to our GM, Mike Ward, which has been instrumental in my development, was the one that really pushed for me to go through NADA, our GSM, Dorian, and all of the management staff, our entire team. That's kind of what we do. when we come to work every day is we look for that opportunity to be the best that we can be every day. And so that's really kind of where we've gotten to. Going to what Brad asked about what am I speaking on SoduCon is I'll be on two different panels, one with Kyle Montsier doing pitch tank, which is a phenomenal opportunity for it's going to be, I think, a total of 6 tech companies pitching dealers. We've been doing it for about a year on Clubhouse, where you get a 3-minute pitch, all audio. So, you guys being on the vendor side of things know how hard it is to get 3 minutes and get your product out in front of everybody. So it should be a good time. And then the second one is the one I'm looking forward to, I think, really the most. I'm going to be with Joe St. John, Jason Rice, and we're doing a panel on acquisition. So it'll be a good conversation.
Yeah, I think Danny's on that panel with you too. Right?
Yes. Yep. I missed Danny.
Yeah. So from VinQ. So now one thing I forgot to say, right? So we got Pitch Tank coming up at a SoduCon. I'm 2-time pitch tank champion. I'm just going to say already. So I'm
there's no belt. There's no proof.
I'm on next Wednesday. I'm on next Wednesday on Pitch Tank Championship. So
nice.
On Clubhouse. So tune in to the SoduCon room. I'll be going up against some other champions and see if I can't come out with the W. So. Yeah, which should be a lot of fun. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be fantastic. I think that panel with Danny and Joe St. John's and those guys is going to be amazing. There's a heck of a lineup out there in Philadelphia. If you haven't got tickets, you can go on a SoduCon.com. Go ahead and grab you some
tickets.
There's
not many left.
There's not a lot left, right? So we're already going to be over 600, which is quite a bit of people coming out there. And then on one night, which is really cool, they're going to have a concert for all of the dealerships and all of the people in the surrounding area of Philadelphia. So even people not even coming to the event, right? So I think that's going to be super cool. We're really excited to get out there and see everybody and shake hands and have some fun.
What other conference or event have that they open it up to everybody, any car dealer within 15-mile radius of Philadelphia? And it's not like Philadelphia is a small city, so it's going to be a huge event. They're talking mechanics, service riders, everybody. So
yeah, which I think is I think it's super cool. Our friend Robin Wilson, I think her company called all the dealerships.
Oh, wow.
Right? So a beautiful sponsorship. So the thing I like about Kyle and Paul so much and about this is how they think, right? Like there's a lot of varied levels of sponsorships. There's going to be a lot of value. Might be the most excited though. I love you, Eric, and I'm really excited to see you speak, but I'm the most excited about seeing Damian Boudreaux because he's the guy that taught me how to sell cars, and he's going to be out there. He's going to be doing some fantastic stuff. So I'm super excited for that. All of us can use that regardless of what side industry you're on, whether it's on the service side or on the sales side or the service side or the vendor side or the dealership side. And so I'm super excited to.
Damien's the biggest thing about Damien is it doesn't matter what side because we're all on the human side, and Damien knows how to touch your heart.
Yeah,
right. So true.
And I think that's the part, and Eric, you and I talk about this. That's the part that Classic does so well, right? You guys are huge, right? I mean, I've been to your store many times. I've been to your collision center. I've been to pretty much every part of your store. Your collision center has more bays than most people's service department, right? So how do you keep that human side with something that's like a huge company like that?
there again, like I said at the beginning, it all kind of starts at the top, right? Tom is in the office, 5 days a week, in most cases. And, everybody says that they've got an open door policy, but he really appreciates and wants people to come up there. Well, it's just to say hi, good morning. And so when it starts at the top, it just trickles down, right? And there again, from the GM, our GM's a big square body guy, loves square body trucks. And so he's always in parts, always in service, always in the body shop. And it's just talking to people and being open. I mean, the human side of what we do is really the most important, right? And that's what we push and drive for every day. And that's, like I said, it starts at the top, and of course it's going to roll downhill.
I love that you said that, the human side. And there's so many different sides of the human side, the human experience, and dealing with the experience at a dealership. And like you were highlighting, Brad, shout out to everybody at OSODUCon that's putting this whole thing together. We are pumped up to be a part of the party. I mean, check this out right here. This is a loud shout out for the crew at OSODUCon, right? We got multiple people that are making big things happen out there, including our incredible friend who's making sure that we got our spelling right on Pitch Tank, that it's Pitch Tank with a P. Also gonna be over at the OSODUCon is Brian Ortega. Can't wait to see you out there, brother. I think that might be our secret cowboy that's checking out what's going on. But yeah, he's making sure to say what's up to you all.
That's gonna end up on a video,
Tip of the hat to you, Brian. Tip of the hat to you, brother.
Oh, you got to watch out for that guy.
Oh, he's witty. He is witty, and I love it. And
we got a whole crew. We got a whole crew coming out there. That's gonna be, it's gonna be a wild time, because this is the first time that we have a secret group, Lou. They call the Automotive Avengers, and most of the Avengers are going. So,
it's gonna be fun.
So it's gonna be a good time. So.
Heck yeah. And a good time it is going to be, but for everybody. And that's the thing that I love most about it, is that this is the first of its kind, that we're trying to recreate something not just for an event, but this is something that's been brewing inside of dealerships, inside of at Classic, at many other stores across the country, that we're trying to make it fun for everybody. We're not trying to have a lopsided relationship with our customer. We're trying to make sure that they understand that it's all of us together for them, not this side, not that side, not a front, not a back. No, everybody in this building is committed to making sure you are taken care of for the long haul of your journey as a driver in life. And I love that we're making this call to arms for everybody over at the City of Brotherly Love. I mean, it couldn't have been written any better to be able to show that how important it is that we all get bound together. And at OSODU, we're doing that. And of course, that's one day, right? That's what 2 days of time together with all of us doing that. But there's things that's being done on a daily basis. Of course, when we have that big call to arms together, it's going to be great to join that. But the only way that has even been possible is that there's been other people talking. There's been other people doing things in the background. There's been other unifiers making things happen. And I just want to know, how is it that you've been seeing things inside of your time with Classic and inside of your time in the automotive business? How have you seen the shift of priority inside of not just marketing, but in dealing with the customer and prioritizing from the time that you started in the business to now? What has been basically the great news of evolution we've been able to see in the car business from your vantage point, Eric?
So for me, I guess I've got kind of a skewed vision on that. This is my 17th year here at Classic. Prior to that, I was with one other group, or two other groups basically. And, the other stores that I were at were four-squared, hard, desk controlled stores. And that's just not how we are here. Right. So, Tom Durant believes in bringing business the country way to the city, believe in a handshake, and our customers are our number one priority. I always tell my guys every day, you've got 2 jobs. That's it. That's all you got to do. You've got 2 jobs in this business. Take care of the customer, take care of the owner. Take care of number 1, number 2's taken care of, right? And and that's really kind of how we push it. The digital side, COVID has really pushed the auto industry forward. I'd say probably about 10 years in a matter of a year and a half, 2 years. Just we've seen so much growth, not only from the tech side, but the dealership acceptance of those, right? A lot of the stuff that we've been, Classic and myself and my team and all of the folks here, we've been kind of on that forefront, I'd say, on the digital side, kind of from day one. And that was really one of the things that got me to come to Classic is I was in internet sales at another group. And I had met our internet director at the time through one of I think it was a cars.com conference of all things. And we were talking, loved the way that she did business here. I got promoted into finance at the other group. Wasn't my thing. They were going through a whole lot of changes. And so I just called Don. I said, hey, you got any spots that I just want to sell cars? And so I came to work over here and she was really pivotal in pushing us as salespeople, not only just to sell cars, but to learn the business, learn the internet side, learn, how to communicate, understand that you're not just dealing with one type of person. Your communication can't be that way, right? You've got to adapt to everybody. And the hardest part of the internet side is just getting that person to raise their hand and say, okay, Brad, you finally got my attention. What do you want? That's the hardest part on the internet side is just to get them to acknowledge you. And so if you're sending out the same thing over and over to everybody, of course you're going to miss it. So that was one of the pivotal things that really got me, I guess, hands-on, wanting to learn more about this side of the business. And then when I got the opportunity to become director about 10 years ago, I guess it would have been 10 years ago. Yeah. I quickly realized that I still didn't know anything and, I missed the whole back end of it. So, it was, putting myself through Google University to figure out all the vendor reports.
I want to piggyback on this question, right? Because you almost brought it up. But I want to line with you real quick, and then I want to ask you a question. So a lot of people don't know this, but we're coming clean here, Lou. You ready?
Okay.
So before I came to Fixed Ops, I was not a Fixed Ops guy. I knew a little bit about Fixed Ops. I worked in the store. I did a lot of stuff, right? And so it's so crazy how this business, you always grow and grow and grow and grow. And a lot of times you don't learn it until you forced into it, right, Eric? Eric.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah. So
right.
My question is for Eric is what's a couple of things that you learned when you went through the NADA Academy that you were like, oh crap, I had no clue that you went, because we know you're the president, and we know that, and we knew you're the president of the class, and we also know that Nick Marty was not the vice president. So
I will never let that one down.
No. So tell us some things that you got out of the NADA Academy that really kind of like where you were like, maybe a revelation or a light bulb that came off, or went off.
Turn rate is obviously a huge thing. Not only on new and on the variable side, turn rate, but it's also a big thing on the fixed op side. Your obsolescence literally can drown you. I think the hardest part, or I think the most that I learned though, for me, was definitely the financial class. just because I had never really seen the financial statements of the store up until about 2 weeks before I went to class, and I had no idea what I was looking at. And so I literally came back and I told Mike, I said, that was the most mentally exhausted that I've been, in a long time, because it's so much absorption and just going over numbers and numbers and numbers. But the biggest takeaway from it, and I kind of hit on it in my graduation speech, is literally just the power of the room, the lifelong friends, that I have met, and will continue. I mean, we've already planned, or we already are planning a class reunion here at NADA in January. So just the power of the room. I mean, we had people from just about every manufacturer, from Highlines to domestic states all around the country. So you're getting a view of not only what you do, but what everybody else is doing. And I can totally relate to, Brad, you keep mentioning Nick, and it's so crazy how our stores, the ownership vision and the way that we do business is so much alike. Yet, we're down in Texas. He's literally, 45 minutes from the Canadian border. So up in Maine, but the philosophies of taking care of people. And, I learned so much from him, from his dad, when I got a chance to meet him. But that's the power of the room. Really was kind of one of those eye-opening moments for me, because you kind of sit back and you're like, man, just the knowledge that everybody in here has, because we had some successionaries, right? But we also had a lot of managers. We had finance directors, we had GMs, we had GSMs. We had a fixed ops director. We had a parts director. So getting to talk to these people, it was really kind of funny. I bring up the parts director. He wasn't in our first class, but Shane was in our second, and then came through the rest of our class with us. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, you're with Classic and Grapevine, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, we buy a lot of parts from you guys." So I was like, "Hey, all right, appreciate the business." It was crazy.
One thing we got to do for Varney: if you're a Chevy store in the Northeast and you have one vehicle, send it to Varney at invoice so that we can get him some inventory for the month. Okay. So
he's struggling with inventory.
So he needs some inventory. So if you're in the Northeast part of the thing and you can let go of one vehicle, we need you to send it up to our boy Nick Varney in Bangor, Maine, because he needs some inventory. Because
he's actually in Pittsville, Maine.
Yeah. So we'll Bangor area. Yeah. So we'll get you some inventory, Varney, up there, man. We got to take care of our own. So if you got anything you can send to him, he'll buy it, invoice minus holdback. Let's go. So that way we can get him some cars in. So Eric, it's so interesting about the NADA Academy. I think there's a lot of good training out there on stuff. And NADA does a fantastic job. And I know you kind of touched on that you're going to do something for the reunion. So let's talk about this, because I think this is something a lot of people don't do. And your network and automotive is so valuable, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that myself, I've tried to rely on my network to help people solve problems and be the person that if anybody has an issue, they can call. But you're doing something totally different. What you're doing is you're actually having a pre-party at your dealership and bringing in and feeding people, and then having some of your partners come in and help you out with that. So tell us a little bit of what the idea was, what's behind it, kind of what the agenda is, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Wednesday night before NADDA, so I think that's the 25th, from 4 to 8, we're going to have kind of an open house. We've always got people, so a lot of our current partners and their kids and stuff have all gone through NADA. I think we've got probably 13 to 15 classes, I believe, that have all graduated. And so I've been working with NADA to get contacts for all of those folks. And Wednesday night before NADA, so it doesn't really interrupt with anything, we're having an open house. We've always got, people that are like, hey, I just want to come see this monstrosity of a Chevrolet dealer. So, Lou, you haven't been down here, so I don't know if you know size-wise, but just physical size, we've got 22 acres for new cars. We've got another 45 acres for pre-owned fleet, and then a 5-acre body shop that recently opened about 3 years ago. My time's always just, I've been here 17 years and it only feels like maybe 7 or 8. So, but the state of the art body shop, I mean, Brad's seen it. Our body shop parts department is bigger than a lot of stores. So
it's crazy. It's 2 stories.
Yeah. So we've always got people asking to come out and check it out. So we're going to do an open house. I've kind of teamed up with the guys here at Fixed Ops Digital, thanks to Owen, Cognition Digital IO, our buddies over there, Interactive Tel, and of course Drive Centric.
Yeah.
So I got them basically to pay for the food and the entertainment. We're going to have a mechanical bowl. And just kind of open house reception. We've got Vaqueros Texas barbecue right here in Grapevine. They put on an amazing spread. Probably something that most anybody, at least outside of Texas, has never seen. They've got a full live fire trailer that they're bringing out and be cooking. It's going to be a lot of fun, just a nice introduction to Texas. And, like I said, I did it because our class was very, very social. I mean, it was like day one. So our NADA class was the first NADA class, first full class back after COVID. Right. So, I think everybody was itching to get out, get to meet everybody, and we just meshed. And a lot of the teachers were like, man, you guys, I've never seen this before. It was like day one, you were everybody's best friend all of a sudden. And so since NADA was here, I kind of decided, I talked to ownership and our managers, and I'm like, hey, I want to have a kind of a class reunion here at the store, because I've had a lot of requests that people want to come down, and we're like, let's do it. So we decided to open it up to all of the classes, because the power of the room. Well, I only got to experience that with 28 people, so you expand that times even 10, and obviously not all of everybody's going to be able to make it, but we're anticipating a pretty good showing, and get to meet people from all over the country again.
I mean, that sounds like a party, a big, fat Texas party. I mean, goodness, bro, you talking about that land. Bro, there's a whole lot of space.
Everything in Texas is bigger.
I'm saying
even Brad's ego.
Yeah, that's why I need this hat.
You need that hat.
I love it, brother. I love it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about that, right? So, when you come to NADA, okay, Eric, give them 3 places to go eat in DFW area, and then I'll give my 3 places.
Are we sticking to barbecue or
no? Any cuisine you can have it. Just top 3 places, and then I'll give my top 3 places, and then we'll go there. So that way you have kind of a variety, because I think this is important. And if you still mind, I'm be mad. So,
So I got to go with the number one Texas, most recently number one Texas rated barbecue joint, which is Goldie's. I'm going to stick to barbecue because I love barbecue. Brad's seen I've got a 100-gallon offset stick burner here at the shop that I do a lot of cooking on. So I'm going to go with Goldie's. I'm going to go with Zavala's in Grand Prairie because they're one of my favorites. We're obviously going to have Vaqueros. They're another big one of mine. And golly, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Marty B's up in Bartonville. It's a good barbecue spot. They've got steaks, but just the atmosphere is top of the line, big outdoor space. But let's hear it, Brad.
All right, so I don't know if you've ever been to Roots. That's a pretty good. It's kind of like a Southern food place in downtown Dallas. That's pretty good. One of my favorite Mexican food places in Dallas. There's 4 or 5 of them, so you can find a couple of different ones. But it's more like an old Mexico food. It's called Meso Maya. It's a really, really good place. And then I would be remiss if the other thing that goes pretty good with barbecue wise or cuisine that the South is known for. There's a couple of these around the area, but it's called Babes. And so Babes, you have 2 choices. I think they kind of expanded it now, but basically you have 2 choices: fried chicken or chicken fried steak. That's it.
You can get the chicken tenders. There's like two spots that carry chicken tenders and smoked chicken.
Yeah. So
steak wise, if you're going for steak and you're down in the Dallas area, Albernays is a top choice.
Yeah. So but Babes, unlimited sides with your chicken. It's fantastic. They have like biscuits that are out of this world good. So if you're looking to get some carbs, or you're finishing your
75 if you start now, you'll have plenty of time.
Yeah,
right at time.
Yeah,
the best thing about Babes, though,
you got to time it right.
The best thing about Babes is their cream corn and their I won't call it salad because it's literally just chopped lettuce and oil, sugar, and a couple other spices in their dressing, but it is out of this world.
Yeah, we got to take Dan Moore there. He's a big cream corn fan, so from Vista Dash. So we'll throw a little shout out to Dan Moore because every time he eats cream corn, he sends me a picture. So
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So, when I go to Texas, I always tend to take a picture over at Buc-ee's if I'm anywhere near there. We got Chris Becker asking if Buc-ee's counts. I mean, I thought that was pretty good.
Buc-ee's is definitely the quintessential road stop. It's the cleanest bathrooms.
There's a rumor that Buc-ee's barbecue sandwiches are way better than Scott Risley's brisket, though.
He went there.
There's a rumor.
He's from New York, man. Cut him a break.
Yeah. So you can get barbecue at Buc-ee's or gas stations that are better than most states. So,
I mean, but it was incredible. It was incredible to walk inside of the gas station, see a giant brisket go, pa-pow! Everybody announced that it's out, and then the ladies just start chopping it up. It was pretty much an experience.
You can get deer corn and feeders and T-shirts. And
dude, where else are you going to find a jerky station the size of most dairy departments in grocery stores, right?
For real. And the assortment is incredible. But man, Eric, you said something about atmosphere, and that just keeps triggering inside of my head, right? You even mentioned how the atmosphere, maybe the food wasn't necessarily the best of the best, but the atmosphere was great, right? And so many times we got to think that doing what it is that we do doesn't always have a big thrill effect for the customer. Maybe on the sales side, right? There's if they're dreaming of something and they're going there and buying it, but not many customers dream of going and dealing with some mechanical issues over at their store, right? And inside of that, they need some fun, good encouragement that gets them moving in the right direction to handle those things. With fusing together fixed ops, digital, and all of the other things that you fuse together inside of your incredible dealership, that's just always pioneering. And that's what I'm getting out of this, that you guys have been setting an atmosphere that wants to go to the next level consistently. It's what drew you in. It's what pulled you closer to them, right? Because you wanted to see what it looks like if we jump into this digital world, if we take advantage of these next level tools that are available for us. What does that actually do, or what kind of an atmosphere does basically solutionaries that want to consistently see growth like that, what does an atmosphere like that look like, feel like, and how do you keep cultivating it?
Very, very open. And that's really what it is we try to take down the walls. Everything's really inviting. And that's, we try to think of our customers' interaction first. We're already planning for our future, right? There's a lot of stuff that's going on kind of in the background. Because when you've got the size of a lot that we do, the days of us carrying, prior to the pandemic, we'd carry 3,000 new cars on our lot here. Now we've got like 45. So, you've got to do something with the space, right? We've certainly outgrown our service department. Talking on a fixed op size, we're on average about 9,500 ROs a month. So when you're running 300 people, give or take a day through there, you outgrow the facility pretty quick. So we're looking at expanding that. But, and always thinking outside the box of how can we do business better? The pandemic really gave us a lot of opportunity to change the way that we do business. We used to be real siloed in our new car and used car departments, just logistically, I mean, they're, a mile and a half down the road. So the floor's always been open, but it just, the new car guys would rarely go across the street to sell used cars or vice versa, just because the logistics aspect of it. When we didn't have the new car inventory, of course we had to change the way that we did business. So we brought used cars over here. The finance guys on this side do used car business now. When we had to close the shop, talking about always thinking outside the box. So when we had to close the business to COVID, and, Brad and I are lucky enough to live in the great Republic of Texas, where we only realistically had to shut down for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. But not during the pandemic, we never furloughed, laid not one of our employees off. So we came together, our general manager came and said, hey, this is where we've got to step up. What are we going to do to make sure that everybody stays employed and stays safe and stays healthy? And so he came up with the idea that, we basically block everything off, because the governor at that time said you can only have people buying cars. They can only come into the store to sign paperwork. That's it. And so what we did is we closed, basically locked all of the exits except for one, and put a 10 by 15 kind of transparent tent out there where the managers, we had a laptop, and so what we did, the managers basically manned that tent, and as people would come in, we'd direct them to park over on the side, and they could call in and talk to one of the salespeople that was here. Salesperson would come, bring a car, leave it running. They would walk out and let the customer experience the car, do whatever they needed. We'd send the customer over to a test drive. And, whatever that customer's level of security was where we would meet them. Of course, people, once the mask mandate stuff kind of started trickling away, we told our people, hey, if you see somebody coming up with a mask, put a mask on. Always make your customer, reflect your customer. And that kind of evolved into, the lack of inventory. And so Mike kind of came up with the idea, hey, let's, throw some signs out by the side of the road. We happen to be placed on a pretty busy intersection. And so we had a 10 by 10 pop-up tent. It was just a little like sports canvas tops to start with, and two picnic tables. And we bring the laptop out there. We put signs up saying that we buy cars. And
what?
Yeah, and we literally we just started buying cars, right? We had to acquire inventory somewhere, and we quickly outgrew that. One thing about Texas is we're extreme. The people are extreme, and our weather's even more extreme. So, it goes to sub-freezing and then, 115, 120 degrees in the summer. So we're kind of adapting. We got a bigger tent. And then Mike had the idea to call one of the biggest tent suppliers in our area. And he got us a 30 by 80 big canvas like drive-throughs. Usually they use it at the state fair. They use them for like weddings and that kind of stuff. And so that's up in our parking lot as our buying center now. And we've just kind of grown. But everything we do is to make everything easier for the customer to do business with us, right? And that's really the vision of Tom and Mike, and everybody here is what can we do to make the customer's experience the best that they've ever had.
Love that.
And you get all that service business off all those cars you trade, right? So you get that internally, and they 9 times out of 10 there's an RV parked out there and a secondary barbecue grill just for emergency cases.
So what Brad said on there is we actually bought that RV, came through our leasing center, had a guy that was trying to sell his RV. So we bought the RV and put it on the backside of the tent now. And so now we have a fully air conditioned office. So it's pretty handy.
Yeah. Mobile trade-in office. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So super cool. It's an experience just to sit back and watch people drive through, because they're like,
oh my gosh, I want to see this.
Yeah. It even the people that drive by that weren't coming over that way to come in and get their car valued. It's crazy. Like just from the traffic out on the street is pretty interesting. So
yeah, that's definitely going to the extreme, right? What do we got to do to make something happen? And I love that you said that. Even on the contrast of weather, we have extreme weather from this end to that end, and something about extreme makes us do one of two things. Either we're extremely reactive, right? We have to react, or we can be extremely proactive. The thing that you're talking about, Eric, is something that many car guys and car gals and industry leaders have had to do. When the pandemic hit, man, that was extreme. That was, okay, we need to do some extreme adjusting to what we're doing, thinking outside of the box. Wait a minute, we heard this guy say that thing. We heard that vendor talk about this product. Maybe we need to listen to some of that, right? Because things have changed and we need to adjust if we're going to maintain our relevancy and ultimately take care of the issues for the customer, right? Customer's car still broke, right? Those that still had to get to work, their car still broke. They still needed help. They still needed to find a solution to a problem. And it was great that people were there. And so I'm kind of trying to understand here with people that are so forward thinking, like Classic and like you all in your leadership. What would you say to those that are even right now? They didn't make big extreme adjustments during the pandemic. And that's why you still remain a beacon to many of the industry to look at to see what to do, to see how to continue to improve, to see what people like Brad and Fixed Ops Digital that you have relationships with, how are you doing what you're doing? What would you say to a leader that's, whether in your position or any other position, whether they have the autonomy to do what they want or they got to go through someone else, but what would you say to them in order to help kind of edge them forward in order to get them to start seeing things get implemented, like reaching out to Brad and getting that? I mean, we have Damien just jumped up in here. Mr. Damien Boudreau, thank you so much for joining us today. We were highlighting your awesomeness a little bit earlier because, again, he's an encourager, a great encourager. So with that, what would you say to encourage those that are really looking for solutions and saying, you know what, I understand this is an extreme change to our thought pattern, but we need change and we need to adjust and we need to get with the times so that we don't have to do it once an extreme reaction has to take place?
Yeah. So, be open to change. I mean, a lot of the stuff that is, you're not going to grow if you continue doing the same thing. I always fall back to one of my favorite quotes. And it's success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's I can't think of it right now. But Winston Churchill coined the phrase, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that is successful, right? So, find those opportunities outside the box and give it a try. You may start off small, like we started off with a small tent because we didn't know what it was going to do. We didn't know if we'd sit out all day and get a suntan or sunburn and not buy a single car or what was going to happen. But we tried. And, you're never going to grow doing the same thing.
Come on. That's what I look to hear. So what would you say to a service manager or service writer or director or general manager that's like, you know what, I really don't know if I need anybody to help really market on my side of the dealership. I don't really know if I need to link up with some digital people to get me some more appointments. What would you say to somebody like that?
Be open to it. Definitely take the call. I mean, that's the only thing that you can do, right? I mean, if you're constantly avoiding calls, not returning calls, not looking for those, you're missing that opportunity. You're not willing to grow if you're not willing to know.
Oh, come on. Hit him with it. I love that. Love that. Brad, what you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's one thing that you were talking about silos earlier, right? Front of the house, back of the house. We don't apply the same enthusiasm or perspective to the service side most of the time that we do the sales side. Because Christina Mitchell, my friend, Car Lady Canada, said, service isn't sexy. It's essential, right? So we have to do it. So I think the common theme that I've kind of been pushing throughout the last couple of months is really focus on, are you setting your people up in your service department for success, right? Like you do your salespeople, because we do everything possible to set them up for success. And if you're not running everything through that perspective or that lens, then you're probably missing something. And you probably need to run your body shop through that lens and your parts department through that lens, and all of that stuff. Every so often you need to be like, hey, what's on the landscape, right? What does the landscape look like on marketing for these things? Now, it might not be something that fits in your dealership, and it might not be a fit for everybody, and it might not be something that you're ready for quite yet, or you might not have a staff or the technicians or whatever, but you need to be aware of what's going on. And us as marketing people, and specifically marketing people that came from dealerships, we have to stop alienating parts and service and collision and stuff from marketing conversations, right? Because we don't know as much about their business as far as day to day as they do, right? So we need their perspective to effectively market that. And I think that's something that we've done on the sales side and we've let sales managers and GSMs and stuff jump into marketing conversations, but we haven't done that as much. And so I think that's what's beautiful about COVID is it's forced everybody to make immediate changes, right? And so that comes with the level of people being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of times when you're uncomfortable, that's when you grow, right? So,
yep.
You know, be comfortable and uncomfortable, right? Be comfortable looking at new things that maybe that you might not understand. And marketing guys like myself on the vendor side, quit making people feel dumb. You know, they know every other part of their business. Like, stop. It's enough. You know, you don't have to make them feel dumb. Just tie it into their business. And if you don't tie it into their business, you should have done more research about their business so that you could tie it in, right? Explain things in easy ways because it's not as hard as we make it. It's really not.
Man, that was a big rib to bite on right there. That's some serious stuff. I appreciate that because ultimately that is the truth, car guys and car gals. For those of you that are trying to see things happen, I can't echo Eric enough when saying be open, right? I mean, they're not just physically ridiculously open with a crazy amount of land, okay? But they're open to new ideas. They're open to new areas where they can grow. And yes, these new areas mean you're going to get a bit uncomfortable. They pitched a tent to start doing appraisals on the road. Man, that had to be uncomfortable. And you're right, you might catch a tan. And I don't know, you're a little fair-skinned, so the tan might be dangerous for you, first day out, okay? You might have to work up on that a little bit. But
I only burn once a year. The rest of it tans out nicely.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. But that first day would have been a scary one, right? But jumping inside of a bunch of cars, taking a look at different units and letting just the buzz get out there. Man, you got Classic up the road. That's up the road, and they are appraising cars. They're going to give you top dollar for your car right now. Man, that just had to be fun to even hear and talk about.
Thinking about outside of the box on there, right? So we tied in with a company called GimmeTheVin.com, which is theoretically a competitor, right? I mean, they're trying to buy cars just like we are. But we had a relationship there. And so we made that call and said, hey, can we get one of your wholesalers out here on Saturdays to, put numbers on cars and, we'll let them wholesale some of our stuff as well. And so it's a working relationship, but I tell you, making that jump has been such a benefit to us. I mean, we've got other dealers in the local area sending their customers out to the tents on Saturdays to let GimmeTheVin.com put a price on it. So it's that forward thinking and thinking outside the box is going to help you keep growing.
Heck yeah. I love it. You're speaking our language. I mean, literally speaking our language, man.
Plus having a wholesaler right there to put a number on the car, you can put car deals together way faster, right? So because you don't have to make a phone call and you don't have to do that haul around that you might have to do, and you're not guessing what you're going to get for it if you have to send it to auction, right?
Yeah.
So it's a convenient thing for the customers, and I think that's something that Eric and his team and Tom and their team, that they do a fantastic job of putting themselves in the customer's shoes and remembering. I mean, I remember the first time I ever walked in a car dealership, right? So I think we have to go back and harness that feeling because there's a lot of anxiety around it, right? So if you can go back and put yourself back in those shoes and think about that, then you can be a lot more empathetic to what they're feeling when they come into the dealership. Even for service, it's a tough thing whenever you're coming for service and something's major wrong with your car, And so you can't have a service advisor that handles every customer the same way because not every situation's the same, right? So I was sitting in a service department the other day, and I was waiting on tires, and I was watching a service advisor, and every single person, he had a different conversation. It wasn't just going down a checklist. It was personalized to that person. and it made me feel really good for two reasons. Number one, that's the store I came from, right? So I was pretty excited about that. Number two, it was really cool to see someone really, really care and try to explain and remove all fear and doubt before they allow the customer to make a decision.
That's how you do it. Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And that's a perfect example of doing exactly that. Man, what a show. This hour went by actually really, really, really quick. Wow. My goodness. But we're really excited that you took the time to be with us, Eric. We know a Car Guy's hour is very, very, very precious. And we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Brad, you got anything else for him before we get ready to drop some F-bombs as we head our way on out of here today?
No, man. I appreciate you, Eric, for coming on. Especially, let's not forget, this is the last Friday of the month, right? So this is a big ask. I really appreciate it. You know, you're a pretty good guy, even if you aren't from Texas. So
I got here as quick as I could.
Yeah.
Well, we are so thankful that you took the time to be with us on this Fixed Ops Friday, and all you other solutionaries that caught this right now live, or if you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you blow Eric up, show him some love, because the philosophies, the heartbeat that he has to do what it is that he does is also something that should be emulated and put into practice inside of your stores. So if you don't have more Erics inside of your building, well, you can go ahead, look at this episode, go back, reach out to him. I know this individual would share whatever knowledge he has to help you get better at what it is that you're doing. But as we continue to do what it is that we do, whether you're making reactions to extreme events or you're just kicking yourself for not taking action and answering the phone when Fixed Ops Digital is calling, right? Well, we're going to go ahead and forgive, focus, and fly so that you can keep growing. So you won't do this. You're doing this the first time on our show, Eric, and I'm so thankful for that. Yes. I was going to ask you for putting the hat on.
Put the big hat on.
Yes. But Eric, we're definitely going to want to invite you back for a 5-liner so that we can find out more about this incredible car guy that's with us. Thank you so much, Damien, and all the others.
Thanks again, guys.
In today, we're going to go ahead and forgive, focus, fly, and fly on away. So here is our chance to get that rocking. We're going to go ahead and put our hands on our shoulders. We're going to wipe off the weight of unforgiveness. We're going to focus on what it is that we can do to keep growing, stretch out in our faith, and we're going to keep on growing, everybody. So help us out. On 3, sound off loud and proud. Forgive, focus, fly. 1, 2, 3. Forgive. Focus. Fly. And keep growing. That's what I'm talking about. Car guys and car gals, we're so thankful that you took the time to join us today. We have their incredible other host of the Fixed Ops Friday extravaganza that we love coming in with right now. You can also go check out the Car Guy Coffee podcast and look at the Fixed Ops Friday with Robin Wilson. It's available wherever you get your podcast. Go listen to that. Thank you so much, Robin, for helping out the Asodu Khan. But Brad Pascal, we appreciate you. And Eric Hall, the one, the only Eric Hall. Thank you so much for your time with us today. Say goodbye, everybody.
I appreciate it.